What's up guys, it's Ronson here and this is the third episode of the Lille lads, and it's been an alright 2 months. I think I decided I was going to do this bi-monthly because I want to do longer videos rather than shorter videos that were with less games. I wanted to do longer videos with more games, mostly because it would take me less time to do. It just means I can get quicker through the season, because this first season would be a bit of an uphill struggle, and I was expecting more good things the next season because Lille, well, we didn't start off with a high transfer budget, and they sold a couple of the good players like Cabaye and Gervinho over the summer. I had no control of that, and the players they brought in were not of that high a quality, to be fair. But anyway, it was an alright 2 months, as you can see from the board confidence, underlined by the fans' joy at Lille Metropole's 2-0 victory over Porto, but lost 3-0 against Toulouse. So that gives you a taster of what's to come, and I'll be back with the first fixture in a sec. Our first game of the first month was against Stade Rennais, and we did manage to beat them 4-0, which was a pretty good result, and I was quite happy. Didn't do too great on the possession, but we not dominated them on shots, but dominated them on shots on target. They committed quite a lot of fouls, and as you can see, they got quite a lot of yellows. Moussa Sow managed to get himself 2, Eden Hazard got a penalty, and Shezdu got himself a goal as well. As you can see, we took the lead in the 22nd minute, and then we didn't really score at all right till the very end. Someone said, you get a lot of late goals, and that's right, to be honest. 77, 79, 86. So really, I'd probably be much happier if we scored the goals earlier, but as long as we score them, I'm happy enough, to be honest. But it was a nice 4-0 win, and it was good to set us up for the next game. This next game was a pretty disappointing 0-0 draw with AJ Auxerre. We could have done and should have done a lot better. Had slightly more possession, more shots on target, more shots overall, but the sending off of Kleber in the 48th minute really hindered us a lot. Mostly, Kleber should not have got booked in the first minute, and to be honest, we could have done and should have done a lot better, as I've said, and this would have really helped us out in the league. I think somebody else slipped up, but Marseille, I think Social Montby slipped up, but Marseille kept on marching on, and this was sort of the theme for the next 2 months, stupid slip-ups, and it was quite unfortunate, and we should do better. But finishing, guys, as I've said, finishing, Moussa Sow needs to work on it, and I'll talk about transfer news for January when we get there later on in the episode, but let's move on to the next fixture. Even though we managed to only draw 0-0 with Auxerre, we did continue a rich vein of form in the Champions League with a lovely 1-0 win against Porto away. I mean, it was a really, really tight game. They pretty much dominated us for the whole game, getting 19 shots, whereas we only had 5. But for once, we managed to take our very few shots, and they had our problem of not taking any of their shots. Moussa Sow got himself injured in the 92nd minute, but that was only for a couple of days, and he did score in the 66th minute with a pretty average goal, to be honest. But I wasn't really caring about the goal. I was happy about the result, to be honest. They managed to get a player sent off in the 91st minute while they were trying to get a goal back, and we hit them on the counter. But it was a really good win, and it put us top of the group, and with 7 points, whereas they only had 6, I believe. So it was a good win, and it set us up for good performances in the Champions League. Yet again, our finishing let us down against Lyon, and this was really disappointing. We should have won this game. We had 62% possession, 19 shots with 7 on target. Yellen got himself injured for a couple of weeks in the 65th minute, so Yellen is pretty useless. When he does, he's barely played for us because he just gets constantly injured, and when he does play, he doesn't really perform what he should be performing. So as I've said, looking for a striker. So we probably should have won this game, and I'm really disappointed that we didn't. It was another slip up, and it was just our finishing that let us down. So I'm pretty annoyed, but we did sort of take some positives. Lyon are a good side, and it was we were at home, so maybe could have done, or we should have done better. But well, you got to take what comes your way, and it was probably. It wasn't deserved. We should have done better. It's our own fault. So yeah, it was deserved, I suppose. But we'll move on to the next game. We then had a Coupe de la Ligue 4th round game against Stade Brestois, which I think is the League Cup in France. This was another one of those games where we should have done better. Musa Sow was, I think he was injured. Let me just check the formations. Yep, Musa Sow, no, he had low fitness, and Yellen was, of course, injured. So Roddenland started this game, and, of course, no striker was going to score. Roddenland wasn't going to score. We had 10 shots on target. Yet again, we couldn't put one away until Marco Bassa scored one from a corner. So really, striker and finishing is our biggest problem with this team, and so hopefully, so we're just scraping through here, and it was sort of how it went for the next 2 games. Our next game was against Valencians in the league, and we did manage to get a pretty comprehensive 2-0 victory. They may have had more possession with 56%, but we did dominate them in shots, having 10 shots with 5 of them on target, which for us isn't bad. Musa Sow got 2 goals, one in the 35th minute and one in the 78th minute, giving us a 2-0 victory, which was something we had been missing in the league. Some goals from Musa Sow as well, who had sort of not been firing on all cylinders at that point, and it was a pretty good way to end October. This game was even better than the last game against Porto. We managed to beat them 2-0. 50-50 possession, but we managed to get 17 shots compared to their 13 with 5 on target, whereas they only had 2. This was a really good game, and I'm really happy with this result. Rolando managed to score an own goal. It was quite a funny own goal in the 31st minute. Hazard took a shot, Helton saved it onto the post, and then it managed to come back from the post and hit Rolando and go into the back of the net, so that was pretty good. Then Payet, who was having a good game this game, managed to score a goal from a header from a free kick, so 2 pretty good goals and a good result, and this put us quite far ahead in the Champions League, and it meant that we'd won all of our games and only drawn 1, so we were unbeaten in the Champions League. This was an absolutely awful result. Evian were close to the bottom of the league. We had 18 shots with 2 on target. So we managed to miss 16 shots, was absolutely disgraceful. They had 5 people yellow carded, so we managed to get Shedstu sent off in the 45th minute. We should have done so much better. We could have battered them about 7-0 this game, but Sow was one of the worst players ever. I could have played a bloody League 2 striker and scored more goals. Hazard managed to get himself injured, but luckily there was an international break after this game, so he managed to have a rest for that. But still, an absolutely awful result, and that was a major slip up that we should have won, and it would have put us higher up in the table, as Social Montby also slipped up, but Marseille were not slipping up, and they had kept on going, and it was a pretty awful result, and I really was not happy, and it sort of set the tone for the next game. This was possibly our worst performance in this whole series. We had 58%, but yet still managed to lose 3-0. They took a lead in the 13th minute before confirming their win in the 50th and then the 60th minute. The 60th minute goal being a pretty nice goal from outside the box. I decided to play the Vincent Inyema, our reserve keeper, because he was complaining about not getting first team football, and well, no wonder he's not getting bloody first team football. We should have played a lot better. Sow yet again being wasteful, and it was a pretty awful result. We should have done a lot better, which is something I've been saying quite a lot this episode. We should have done a lot better, because to be honest, we could be a really, really good team. We just make it difficult for ourselves constantly rather than play well. So this really put us down quite far in the league. We're still in 3rd place, but Social Montby kept slipping up as well, but Marseille were not slipping up, and a pretty bad result. And could we pick ourselves up from this? And that was the question. The game against Basel continued the theme of missing chances. As you can see, had 19 shots with 10 on target, 56% possession, only managed to get 1 goal with Eden Hazard in the 43rd minute. Musa Sow playing pretty awful again, and sometimes he's just absolutely disgraceful with his shooting. Just need to sort it out, and he just snatches at shots. I mean, his build-up play is so good. He gets past all the defenders with his dribbling, and then he's got Messi-like dribbling, and then he can't score. That's his only problem. And if only I could sort of, I could play a formation with another striker, but I don't have another striker, to be honest, to play there, and get Musa Sow to sort of being a more supporting striker. But oh well, we marched on, and this actually confirmed our qualification from our group, and we just need to I think, draw against CSKA, and that will put us top of the group. So we hopefully won't get someone like Barcelona or Real Madrid or Arsenal or Chelsea or Man United, someone like that. And it was quite a good well, it wasn't quite a good win, but it was an alright win, and I'm happy as long as we win. The last game of this episode was against Stade Brestois, and as you can see, Moussa Sow scored 4. After being absolutely awful in all the last couple of his games, he scored 4. Just let that sink in for a moment. What a wanker. What an absolute wanker. Anyway. They had 57% possession, which seems to be the theme in this series. If you have more possession, you'll end up doing worse. We had 16 shots with 10 of them on target, 4 of them being put away by Moussa Sow, 4 goals, and really, well, it was an alright victory. The 2 goals they scored could have probably been stopped, but oh well, I'm not going to complain too much. Probably should have done maybe better with them. But we won 4-2. Moussa Sow scored 4, which was an absolute shock. So I'm happy. I'm happy overall. I'm not going to complain that we won. So yeah, and that was a nice way to end up the last game of this episode, and it was a nice way to wrap it up. So let's check out the fixtures for next month. Right, I'm back, and this is actually a couple of days later. I did originally make a sort of outro to the video, but then it was 3 seconds over 15 minutes, and YouTube decided, yeah, well, you're over 15 minutes, so we've had to remove your video, which is really, really wank. So shit. So I'm just going to stay on this fixture screen because I've actually played a couple of months ahead. Well, not too far ahead, but yeah. Only thing, actually, I can't even show you anything, so a bit of a disappointing end to the episode, but other stuff will be revealed in episode 4, and then eventually episode 5, because I'm halfway through episode 5, you can see 8th of February, so sort of kind of through, well, just started episode 5 then, but yeah, so I hope you have enjoyed this episode, even though it kind of failed. I can't check the player stats or anything, just because they'll be a lot different, and it is quite annoying, but oh well, we'll soldier on. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, give it a like, and if you want to favourite it, give it a favourite, and if you want to keep up to date with this series, then click that subscribe button, and I'll see you for the next episode.